All right. Good evening. So we're learning about the history of Kyiv Cake. And luckily, while I was packing, I kind of damaged the nose of this one by accident. And so this gave us the perfect excuse to pull this out, make a quick video. And Shalika is going to tell us a little bit about the components of this thing and also the history of Kyiv Cake, or, as you say,
Київський торт.
Київський торт по-українською.
Так.
Так. Okay, go for it. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so a lot of people ask, what's the flavor of it? How does it taste? So it's light meringue layers with cashews and hazelnuts and buttercream out of condensed milk. So it's a really rich buttercream. And it does not have the sponginess to it because the actual layers, the two layers, are meringue. And the cashews and hazelnuts are the most typical use of nuts in this specific cake. In the former USSR, there was a shortage of those nuts, so they used peanuts, but we like the classy traditional flavors, so we use cashews and hazelnuts, and that's what makes this cake very nutty, earthy, really crumbly. And it's one of our favorites because it's iconic for Kyiv, and we are from Kyiv, both Hannah and myself and my mom. So we know exactly how it should taste, how it should look, and we can find it in any bakery, any cafe in Kyiv.
Also, I think there's an interesting tale about the original Kyiv Cake, right?
Yes.
About, if you don't know, the process of making a Kyiv Cake takes place over, I think, 2 or 3 days. Certain ingredients you prep on day 1, then they have to do something, and then day 2 you do the next ingredients, then day 3 you put all of the pieces together. But there's I don't know, is it a real story? Is it a myth? Is it, what is it?
It's
about
a real
how,
story.
Yeah.
Similar to like the honey cake, when we recorded a video about honey cake, what happened is an accident, and all great things happen through an accident. So in Kyiv Cake situation, there were some confectioners who worked at the Karl Marx factory, which is now Roshen factory, known in Ukraine. And what they did is they forgot their egg whites overnight. And instead of throwing them away, they were like, well, let's just pop them in and see what happens to those layers. And that's how the Kyiv Cake layers happened, because they put the egg whites overnight, which was an accident and a mistake then, but now it's day 1 process. You have to put your egg whites overnight, and they have to do a chemical process to make this airy texture of the layers.
Amazing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can see just as I'm taking bites, it's so good you can't just sit in front of this, but you see that the different layers in there, and as you take a bite, you'll see that airiness, that crumbliness that Shalika was talking about with the nuts sprinkled throughout. One thing I've always wondered is, what is the top? Because I don't know if it's exactly chocolate, maybe it's kind of chocolate.
Yeah, it is. It is chocolate. Here's what we do. So if you see the buttercream layer in the middle, it's white. So we make the buttercream with condensed milk, and then we use the same buttercream, but then we add cocoa and chocolate. So that is the top. So it's the same cream. So the flavor is the same. We just add the chocolate to it. And then on top, the decorations could be whatever. It could be, in this case, it's golden cashews. It could be a dark cream. It could be lots of different things. However, when we have cakes for order, my mother usually makes chestnuts flowers, because that's the symbol of Kyiv, and that is what typically is on every Kyiv cake.
There we go. And the final maybe fun fact about Kyiv Cake is, just because of the way it's made, gluten-free, right?
It is. It's the only gluten-free item we have.
So if you're curious about coming to the bakery, looking for a gluten-free option, Kyiv Cake's the way to go. Anything else you'd like to mention about this?
Yeah, and it's actually designed to be so. So it's not like a substitute. We'll make it gluten-free. It just is, just by nature. That is how we have it, how it was designed from the time ago.
Good. Do you want to start eating this before I finish it?
You can have it.
That's it. All right, we're rolling.
Stop.
What?
Your head is cut off, like a lot.
Oh no. Don't worry, I'll edit this out. How's that?
You can't see the cake.
Well, what do you want? Is it my head or the cake?
Tilt. Is this a tiltable situation?
Yeah.
Tilt it a little. Okay, just a little bit.